We're on? Okay. I'd like to welcome everyone to the May 4th, 2023 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. Would you please rise and join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'm Jeff Benton, President of the Board. To my left is Vice President and fellow Commissioner Vera Merrill. To my right is fellow Commissioner Barb Lewis. And our administrator today, Tracy Davies, Don Houston, our Deputy Administrator, as well as Eric Hostetler, our Deputy Administrator. Our clerks today are Jennifer Walraven and Sarah Deneau, and we can start.
Resolution number 23-366. In the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held May 1st, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 23-366. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment this morning. Resolution number 23-367. In the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants and batch numbers CMA PR 0503 and memo transfers and batch numbers MCA PR 0503.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 23-367. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Next, we have a presentation from Stockhand Horses for Healing.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah, if you could introduce yourself since we're streaming and recording.
Yes. I'm Angie Mack, and this is Tim Funk. We are with Stockhand's Horses for Healing today. Thank you so much for allowing us to come out and speak today. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization here in Delaware County. We provide therapeutic equine-assisted services to members of our community, such as children and adults with physical and developmental disabilities, children with autism and spectrum-related challenges, as well as veterans and first responders in our community. Together with our community partners such as Delaware County Board of Developmental Disabilities, Delaware County Veterans Services and Veterans Court, and Salvation Army, and many more, we are able to provide a place of belonging and a space to have a healing space for Delaware County and Central Ohio. We brought a brief video, if we're allowed to play that for you guys.
Sure.
Do we need any help, Sarah, or are we all set up?
We're all set.
Okay.
When I got out of the military, there's no class, there's no training to teach you to be a civilian again. So there's a lot of anger issues and a lot of frustration. By working with the horse, I started to be less angry. And until I started approaching the horse in a more calmer manner, did I start getting results out of the horse, but more importantly, the results I got for myself. Equine-assisted therapies have become one of the most effective ways of working with folks with disabilities. Stockhands is a 38-acre facility with 32 stalls. Currently, we have 30 head of horses.
Word of mouth came, and we're dealing with autistic and spectrum children, we're dealing with veterans, we're dealing with all of these things. And as the word spread, we grew.
We're at capacity on all our programming, from therapeutic riding to peer support programs to day programs. And we have an extreme waiting list with our therapeutic riding program as well as some of our day programs.
We have so many students on the waiting list right now, we can't get to everybody.
And it is heartbreaking for me to say, hey, I can't help you right now.
And to put people on a waiting list is a tragedy.
22 veterans a day kill themselves. I feel very guilty that I read in the newspaper or I hear on television that someone's taken their life that we could have helped them. And I see it on a daily basis where, you know, I'm getting a phone call, hey, can I come out? I'm like, hell yeah, you can come out. I'll figure out a way. On every other Friday, I have anywhere between 25 and 30 veterans here. We don't charge for our veteran services at all. They've already paid, in my eyes. whether it be a veteran or someone in addiction recovery, I'm seeing a lot of people take their lives. I don't want to go to another funeral.
Sit up nice and tall. Good job, buddy. What do you say to your horse to get her to go? Walk, talk. That's right.
What people don't understand is that when a child comes into our care for services, they're not here for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. They're here for years, potentially. And we are at capacity and can no longer serve additional people until we expand our services.
The most important step is building our second arena. With that second arena, we will be able to double our capacity.
Stock Hands is irreplaceable when it comes to addressing the mental health and substance abuse disorders we see in court every day.
With the second arena, I can eliminate the wait list. We're looking for people who want to serve, who want to help expand our programs.
Yeah, the second arena is really needed.
People can't get rehabilitation in a courthouse, but in a setting where they're not being judged, where there is AA and there are certified people like Stock Hands, that's what rehabilitates people.
One of my things is we can't make a difference in our own life until we make a difference in someone else's.
The work that we're doing here at Stock Hands is making such an impact, but we can do so much more with your help. Thank you so much for your time today. We're going to stay after the service today. If you guys have any questions or if anybody would like to have some information, that will be around.
Okay, don't take off just yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure we do have questions.
Oh, okay, wonderful.
Sure, sure. And all of us wanted you to come in today just because we've all heard of the many great things you're doing.
Thank you so much.
And I know our sheriff has just joined the board.
Yes.
I'm sorry, our ex,
Well, he's still
let's say, yeah. Russ
yes,
Martin.
Russ Martin is on our campaign committee, as well as Carol O'Brien has just recently joined us as well.
Did she? Okay.
So we're in the process of starting to expand our facility and try to be able to make it so that we can eliminate the wait list that we have on all of our programs.
You have the land to expand on, you just...
We do. Currently, we have a land contract with, and we are sitting on 38.06 acres. We have the land to expand the programs and to expand the facility. So that's the route we're going. We've got a multi-phase campaign getting ready to start. We are in the quiet stages of that campaign moving forward. We just wanted to make sure that everyone knew what our intentions were within the county and what individuals we serve within the county as well.
But at the fair last year, Commissioner Benton and I were talking, was it you we were talking
Yes, sir.
to? And we encouraged you to come to session and have this conversation, so thank you for doing that.
My pleasure.
Could you just brief us on the capital campaign? We'd like to learn more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are embarking on a $4.7 million capital campaign to expand our services. What that will do is allow us to purchase the land that we have currently a land contract with, build a second arena that's going to more than double our capacity to be able to serve what we have. In addition to that, we are going to have temporary veteran housing for displaced veterans on site for that as well as a vocational building where we're hoping that not only can we use the woodworking and the metalworking tools that have been donated to us for use in our educational programs that we have with schools and students, as well as some of our veterans programs and first responders as well.
How large is your campaign?
How large, did you say? 4.5. Yep. And it's a 3-year phased campaign. The first phase is getting the property under control as far as in our domain. The second phase is going to be going and building our second arena, that is the primary goal, is to get that in there because that will allow us to be able to serve more people. Right now, our developmental disabilities and our autistic programs, everybody wants to get on a horse and ride. We have a waiting list for that program that's several months out, actually. So our sessions are generally 8-week sessions. We try to get people rotated in so that everybody can have that experience as well. We do have a driving program, which is the carriages and the wagons and things like that. It's got a little bit less of a waiting list, but that allows us to be able to bring people in who maybe have a little bit lower mobility they can't actually sit on a horse, but they can ride, and they can still work on their upper body control, that core strength kind of thing, and directing the horse and working with them too.
All at the same time making that same connection with the horse.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you did so much with non-veterans.
Yeah,
We kind of, when we started, we really started with working with autism. My main goal in the beginning was to start just a veterans program. When we opened our doors in 2014, there wasn't a whole lot of funding out there for that, believe it or not. But we also started working with children with autism. And how we actually got started is I had an encounter with a child that did not want to be touched, didn't speak or anything like that. And I ended up getting them up on a horse that was not the right horse for them at the time, but the changes happened in the horse. So we went from a horse who was kind of a high-strided, head-high, snorting and blowing kind of horse, to as soon as this young man sat on the horse calmed down. The horse hung his head like it was an old show horse peanut roller and just walked around. Every time this young man adjusted his weight in the saddle, the horse would stop and look back and check on him. That was kind of interesting to see that reaction with the horse. But what was more empowering for me was, when we got off that horse, we were walking over towards the gate where this young man's mother stood. The young man reached down and held my hand to the gate, all the way to the gate.
Oh, my gosh.
So that kind of started where our route was and how we went in. We have several different programs from, working with children and adults with developmental disabilities, physical disabilities. We have an equine assisted learning program, which we work with local schools. Currently, we're working with Westerville schools. Only Tangi says they don't have any money, so I'm glad this is recorded.
What did Only Tangi say? I'm sorry.
There wasn't funding at the time.
Oh.
Only Tangi said they didn't have any money. So with that, our equine assisted learning program with the school kids, they come in, these kids don't thrive in the typical classroom. They have behavioral issues, they have learning disabilities and everything else like that. We still work with them on the reading, the writing, and arithmetic, but through life skills of working with that horse. They do math by figuring out how much their horse weighs or how tall their horse is. They learned how to work with others within their class, reading body language of our horse, but we're also reading our body language as well. So the horse is able to teach us so much different things, and it overlaps in so many different demographics. And we've been able to provide this service through the county and other areas of central Ohio.
Okay. Yeah, that was one of the questions I had. You aren't dedicated, you aren't exclusively doing Delaware County residents.
Now, we have folks coming from Licking, Fairfield County, Franklin
Marion,
County,
Franklin, yep.
all over.
Okay.
And we also, there's other therapeutic riding centers in central Ohio. And we also know that some of these folks, if they're coming from Licking or Fairfield County, they're passing another center. So we try to refer them to them. They have wait lists as well. And the one thing they keep hearing is, well, they're not stock hands. They don't have the same type of services.
Oh, I see. Could you tell us a little bit about each of your backgrounds?
I'll let you go first.
I went to Olentangy High School. It was K through 12 in one building at that time. I graduated in 1990. I joined the Marine Corps due to some circumstances. I got in trouble with the law. I had a judge here in Delaware said, I think you could turn yourself around. I can't tell you to go and do this, but if you look into this, there might be another option. So I joined the United States Marine Corps. I served there for 4.5 years, and when I got out, still in trouble, dealing with coming back into society, and had a heavy drinking problem. I'm a 3-time DUI guy. I have 6 years sober now. Yes, I started that program while I was still drinking, and through the program, I was able to stop. I'm a mentor with the Delaware County Veterans Court, kind of been there, done that, so great place for me there. And that's pretty much it.
Where did you serve when you were in the Marines?
When I was in the Marine Corps, I kind of hopped around a little bit. I was stationed at Camp Lejeune. I didn't spend a whole lot of time there. I did tail end a Desert Storm. I did Somalia twice. I did Bosnia. I did the Haiti deal. So I was a little bit everywhere.
Oh, thank you. And Angie,
Yeah, thank you for your service.
thank you. Yes.
I am Angie Mack, also a local Delawarean, have been here all of my life. I've been volunteering with Stock Hands for quite a while now. My daughter, who is 16, is very heavily involved in that. I am actually a massage therapist and physiotherapist by trade. I worked at Mount Carmel for quite a while. Before that, I was in the corporate world in telecommunications management. Kind of left that so that I could be home with my girls, found a career where I could be a little bit more flexible and that sort of thing. Very close with Tim. I don't like to admit it very often, but he is my brother. He had a need, wanting to get some direction in this. I was in a place where I could have some more time to do that and spend a little bit more time with my daughter. She's one of those kiddos that doesn't do really well in a classroom environment. She struggled a lot, as most teenage kids do, with where their place is in the world and what they should be doing. And I was sold by Stock Hands, even having that outdoor look of it, that watching her go from a teenager who was unsure of herself to walking into that barn and being confident and sure of herself and smiles, which I don't know how many of you have had teenagers in their life, but a smile on a teenager's face is super hard to come by. So I saw her passion in it, and I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, now that you've got all the hard work done, I'll come on in and help out, so.
Well, Angie, you look familiar to me, and now I know why, so.
Yes.
All right, well,
Oh, thank you.
yeah, well,
Thank you so
for
much.
coming in, and I
Yes.
know we're all familiar with Stock Hands. We learned more this morning, and I know we've through the community enhancement grant, we've
Yes.
helped
Yes,
the organization in the past, and we look
Yes.
forward to helping more in the future as we're able.
wonderful. Thank you guys
Thank
so
you very
much.
much.
Thank
bless
you.
both of you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
All right, Sarah?
That brings us to item number 5, resolution number 23-368, in the matter of accepting a donation from the Columbus Foundation in support of the Delaware County Dog Shelter.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion?
Oh, there's
Hi,
Baxter.
everyone. Mitchell
Oh, Harry.
Garrett, Delaware County Dog Warden here. This is Baxter. He's been around the county a little bit, but I
Hey
don't know if
there.
everybody's seen him yet. Today I'm here to talk about the Columbus Foundation. Every year they definitely help us out with our vet bills. They donate this year a large sum to be able to help us with all of the strays and homeless dogs, get them the proper care that they need, so that way we can help them move on to another chapter of their life. That way, you know, we can, if they can't get back into the home that they were in, we can maybe get them into a better one.
It's great. Well, yeah, again, very generous foundation to donate a large sum to help with the vet bills.
Yes, it sure
Help get
is.
the dogs and other animals.
We need to read the
rehomed.
resolution.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Did we read the resolution?
We did.
Yeah.
We just need a vote.
Do we need a vote? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Vote on motion 23-368. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
So
Thank
thanks-
you.
Thank you, Baxter.
Item number 6, resolution number 23-369, in the matter of approving the contract between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, the Delaware County Department of Job and Family Services, and Allison Huell, PhD, for counseling services.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bob Anderson with Job and Family Services. This is one of the contracts that we use with our Protective Services Children's Services Division, where they provide assessments. They assess children, parents that are involved with foster care program.
Okay. Have we used this provider in the past?
I believe we've used this and the next, yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 23-369. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 23-370, in the matter of approving the contract between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, the Delaware County Department of Job and Family Services, and Kara Predmore, PSYD, for counseling services.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion.
And this is a provider with the same services as the previous approved contract.
Now, this one and the previous one, are these pass-through dollars that grants or other state or federal funding pay for, or is this general fund dollars?
This is state and federal. This is passing through our foster care funds that are coming through the state.
Okay.
We've used this provider for both Family Children First and for Protective Services. And we do this, the hourly rate's $225. We do this rather than the foster parents or parents have to pay and then we reimburse. We just have the contract and then we pay directly. These are usually court ordered through juvenile court, or we determine that the assessments are needed as we're going into court on these different services.
Okay, all right. Vote, sir.
Vote on motion 23-370. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Resolution
Thank
number
you.
23-371, in the matter of setting the bid date and time to receive bids for the vacuum box rental services.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag, Director of Environmental Services. This is a contract for a one-year vacuum box rental service with 2 additional one-year optional extensions of that contract. We rent typically about 50 boxes per year, spend between $150,000 and $250,000 a year, depending on the need and the number of boxes and the length of time that we have those on site. So we would expect the number of boxes to remain the same, but the price to increase, I think, due to the current economic conditions.
Okay.
Okay. Vote?
Vote on motion 23-371. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thanks.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany, could you hang around for right after session? I'd have a quick question for you. So I think that's the end of the resolutions.
It is.
Okay.
So administrative reports.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tracy Davies, County Administrator. Just wanted to thank representatives from Governor DeWine's office, Attorney General Yost's office, Treasurer Sprague's office, and Senator Vance's office. They had a quick get-together this week that Sheriff Balzer and I were able to attend just to touch base, and Chief Moore from Delaware was there as well. But appreciate their attention to the county.
And I have nothing today, thank you.
Eric, anything? Okay. Mr. Merrill?
A couple of things. Mr. Benton and I had the privilege of being at the Harlem Strategic Meeting Tuesday night, and I thought it went really well, and I think it was a mission on their part that they've adjusted a lot their thinking about the process and working with the results of Intel, and I thought it was a really good meeting, and I think you had attended last year, about a year ago, so you saw that transition.
Made enormous strides.
Yeah, and also was at the general business meeting yesterday morning. Monica Connors spoke, and I had the privilege of introducing her, and it was well attended. I'm going to guess about 30 people there, and a lot of really great questions and a lot of back and forth dialogue, and as usual, Monica did a fantastic job. And that's all I have today.
Okay. Commissioner Lewis?
I did a virtual interview. Channel 10 picked up on our naming of a road for Demetrius Stanley,
okay.
and so they were interested into as to our why we did that, and so that was very easy to explain since he's such a wonderful person, and so so that was very good. That'll air tonight at the 11 o'clock hour, but she will send me something electronically, so
Okay.
I won't have to stay up and watch it till 11, since we all get up so early to be at these meetings.
That's right.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just a couple of things. Again, the Harlem Township was really encouraging to see the committee that the township trustees put together making progress on planning for their township's growth, because it's coming. And it was just really encouraging to see them work their way through it. They hired an expert, and again, they're making nice progress. Delco's got a water center, the Wolf Water Center dedication and ribbon cutting this evening. Go into that. More for the executive committee today. And lastly, we just heard that Chief Eric Burgess just took another job, so we hate to see Chief Burgess leave, but we want to thank him for his, I think, 15, 16 years of service to the county. Jeff Fischel just sent that out this morning, that announcement. Again, want to thank Eric for all he's done for the county, and
Yes.
he's going into a teaching role, so he'll be missed. I'm sure he'll do a great job there. So I want to thank Eric publicly. We do have need for executive session.
We do. Resolution number 23-372, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of employment, compensation of a public employee or public official for collective bargaining.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 23-372. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye. All right, we're in executive